Well, hello and good afternoon. Welcome back if you are watching to another Prefect 99 live stream where hopefully are going to be doing a return to Sector Day from Stansted to Billund. We're already online. You can see there's some company traffic behind us. They literally arrived a couple of minutes ago. And hopefully the streaming issues should now be sorted. There was actually a problem with my fiber connection. So I was going to stream this morning, but the BT engineer arrived this morning and the connection was on and off for a bit, but now it seems a lot better, a lot more stable. So hopefully no more dramas. I am just going to start Pegasus running. Atlanta is already running. It's 12:31. Are on stand 4-2, center Charlie, however you want to pop it. And that means we don't want to go before 51. 11 is the latest, 20 to 40. I'm going to try and do the pre-flight from scratch. And unfortunately, I think the SimAware website has changed because the overlay doesn't work anymore. So I won't be displaying that. I've turned outside objects down to try and free up a little bit of CPU. It may actually well be the shadows, and maybe I will have to fiddle with the shadow setting. Think about installing a shadow plugin just to offload some of that. At some point I may try and overclock the CPU. Well, I haven't done that yet, even though it's capable. As always, if you are watching, please say hi. So without further ado, the airplane is completely cold and dark. Let's jump in. So, assume the normal crew positions. Battery switch comes on. Electric hydraulic pump switches are both off. The landing gear lever is down, and we have 6 grade. Ground power switch. Select on. Bolt in on detection. Which is down here, isn't it? So, bolt in on and APU detect on. And you have to check that as you push that, those two do come on. If the APU, that APU doesn't operate, then don't operate the APU. Overheat fire. Feel well, yes. And cancel. I think you're actually meant to be able to push the button to check that it does cancel. If the engine fire warning switch and an engine overheat light do not in on. See, the overheat light extinguisher check is over here, is it not? Yes, and it's on both. APU starting on buses, we're not going to put it in. Of course, and you do need a tank, pump onto that. You don't need one, but it extends the life of the control unit. We have power, so we can pop the exit lights on. Then check that that works. Flap lever flaps up. Flap lever up and agrees, and take off. Big one. That's those done. Cargo fire detection system. Am I being dense? There it is. Oh, and operates. Voice recorder switch. There we go, that's a bit better, isn't it? Now it says on, but I think it needs to go to auto. I'll test that. Maybe not from here. Yes. Okay. Stall warning. It's a warm up. That doesn't work. First lights extinguished. EECs on. Passenger guard down. Light is not on. Caution switch activation will cause deployment of passenger masks. Don't do that. Check the gauge. GPS light is off. RSs can go to 9. Not really much of a flow. And of course, do the lights test. Should be 2 in each one. That's a lot of lights to check. Don't like anywhere missing. Oh. And you can, of course, dim those for time use. So, of course, I don't on here. Oxygen test I'm not going to do, but you can, of course, do it and set the EFIS as you like. It says terrain and airport is selected, but I'm convinced you're going to do that at the gate. Box set, they're correct. Nose wheel steering, guarded. Displays, auto, bubble. So, and they're all guarded. So that's the safety initial. Do the ground proximity test, if you so wish. I think it's on.
Light slow.
Go.
Pull up.
Does work.
Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Obstacle. Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
Happy. And I'm just going to run through my flow. So we've done IRSs. Good up and come on. Oh, upside down. There we go. 1 on 1 on 1 on 1 auto. Cross feed. Right, dim. Right and off. Pumps can all stay off. Don't think we're going to have anything in the sensor tank for these sectors. Ground power is on. Cabin util IFE are on. Normal. Off. Parked. Right. Switches off. If 0. All of those are off. One of those on, and we'll leave A off as per the current SOP. There may be a newer one that I haven't done. Check the window heat because we tested those lights. That test the lights, it doesn't check systems. See how it is in the cabin. Not very. Max can come to auto, although nothing will be going through the having air straight into the mixed manifold. So I think fighting against it. 350 is our cruise today, and the destination elevation at Billund is 247, so 250. Lights on steady, MCP's checked, and we will set up as we wish. Set the fuel flow, set the flow, brake RTO, disarm, extinguished. Don't have to do this as per the checklist, but hey, it's a good get it to us in the sim because the computer might be broke. We have checked the takeoff config warning. rig set on the fire check, set 2000. Just doesn't remember that because we did the replay. Lights as we like, radios as we like. This is the end. You can set in Zibo if you're this side or this side. And we've got no ATC online, so that doesn't matter either. Let's get the aeroplane loaded up. We have got 169 packs today. Everyone's going to... Is there a Legoland in Billund? There must be. 2103, let's pop that rear hold to the CG move aft. The fuel consumption. I like to think that would be modelled as well. Drag on the tailplane. And what I'm asking for now is some fuel and block fuel. I've got a 15-minute additional reserve just because the weather may be sleety on arrival. That may cause other dramas with restriction. 6547. So why don't we just call that 6.6?
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
Everything's running. See now the frame rate has tanked there, and I have absolutely nothing going on in the background. Can't be the fuel, can it? Coincidence. Let's cage the standby AI. And while the fuel is loading, are we meant to be off blocks 1300? Get the packs loading with the seatbelt sign off. It is. So, nav data is still currently correct. 7827K. Stansted. And 4-2 will be the weather in a moment.
Stansted traffic runway 3 holding Tango, pushing back.
Oh, we've got some. Got there on our left. 3-1 Hotel Juliet is behind us. Felix LP. Oh, he's on Singapore server, I don't know. That's Benjamin, the Hotel Tango. He's off to Bordeaux. Squawking 1000. Tisk tisk. Set the IRS, and we are off to Echo Kilo Bravo in LEGPI. Usual call time. The route is not particularly onerous to type in, but I am going to look because it just saves time. Doesn't mean that you don't cross-check it though. Directed to Clacton. Apu 44, SOMVA, direct MAVAS, direct LEGPI, November 873, TUSKA, direct GELBA, and then position for an approach. There are no stars at Billund. So relatively simple. What is our zero fuel weight? 50.7. That's interestingly. I do 169, didn't I? Double check that. Six nine. Yeah. I have got some different figures. Oh well. Maybe people just bought a bit less on the luggage. Significantly lower. So 0 fuel 7 planned 0 fuel. is 60.9.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
So we've got 6.6 for rounding. So 60.9, 58.7, 2.2 light. Could be, we're 2.1 on cargo, that's not quite that. Anyway, that gives us a gross weight of 65. So 2 tons light. Weight change. It's only going to be beneficial because we're light. So we could take less fuel. Calculated. Our reserves 2284 round up to 2.34. That does nothing other than generate the warning, so it doesn't matter that we round it up a bit. 350. Top of climb wind 267. 40. ISO deviation is positive 4 today. Position altitude is 6,000 feet under the London TMA where we are. Execute that. And pretty sure it's going to be to Clacton. 1 Echo the Archer. Going to arrive with 7, 2.4 loads extra. And yet we're not using our... So, it did used to recalculate drop below and increase. Interesting. We're not, because you can see that there. But when you see that message, it is worth checking for any discontinuity as well. Look at the charts. I can get it up on screen, but I don't think anybody's watching, so there isn't. So 210 below, above 9, below 4, 4001 set, 2.4 arc left, max 210, max 210, max 250, above 3, and then 4 all the way out. 5, 6, no, so the top of 6. But it's a stepped climb, so we will leave it at 4. If it's quiet, then we will zoom up, otherwise we will stick at this exactly as we are told to. The ILS is 10.5. For the departure we need Clacton.
Stanton traffic runway 3 Hotel Tango, taxi to boarding point runway 22 via Charlie and Sierra.
085086. So,
Easier traffic, Seabird 951 Lima, Transnet Bourne, route 5, initial approach 27 right, flight 7 Sierra, currently sending via the approach to 2,500 feet. Stanton traffic runway 3 on Hotel Joy via takeoff in pushing me.
so I'm going to set that available on both. Could have Barkway just in case we need it. 6, 25. Inbound is 266 radial, so 6, 85 initially, but it's going to be good enough for us. Not picking it up yet. So, is the departure done? I'm not going to bother with the descent forecast, etc. What I do need to do is get the weather so we can do our performance. So 65.3 is our current gross weight. Maybe everyone's got empty bags so that they can fill up with Lego sets. 65.3, it's not going to be any lower than that. Probably going to be 100 kilos less, but I'm not going to do that. Full. It's just double check with the weather. So the METAR 4 stands at 1220 Zulu. It is an automatic report 260 at 14 knots. 10k, greater than 10k visibility, few clouds at 3,200. Pressure is 5, dew point is -1. Minor. It's good enough, isn't it? So 260 is clearly runway 22. We'll take the full length, either one where we line up. Romeo or Sierra, it doesn't matter, they both lead to the actual threshold. Runway is dry. Let's see what our takeoff performance is. So Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. Runway 2.
Traffic, right at Rio Tango, lining up runway 22 and takeoff.
5, that matches. Let's pop our weight in. 65.3. Anti-ice is going to be off. Optimum flap, engine bleeds on. Just optimum temperature. And via the magic of Airplane Toolbox. Ooh. Which took a long time to work that out, to be fair. Some updates may have been made. 26k. The takeoff limit is 68700, which is a Tourer limit. We need 2498 meters. Gives us a stop margin of 551. Minimum flap is 1500. Pop that on while I think about it. $26k, and we have an assumed D rate of 4. That gives us 87.4. That's interesting. That's a significant difference. Definitely flap 5, 26k, 44. Anyway.
Traffic right at Zibo and Hotel Juliet, we have Charlie and Sierra taxi to runway 22.
So trip 5 hasn't changed. I've got 1.5 for me.
Traffic, Sleeper, not on runway, let's go with
7.
Right, Iceland F4 flight here, please advise direction of not
And 147. It's an interesting difference. And I'm double checking the weight, 65.3. There's no specification for the departure type. Seeing as we're doing max 210, let's have a look at the departure profile. Straight ahead to 900, max 210, accelerated 3, they're quite quick. I'm not going to do VNAV, so may end up doing vertical speed just to moderate things slightly, so it'll be a little bit busy.
Sensor traffic going at Zibo and Hotel Juliet, lining up runway 22 and depart via the clicked and 1 X.
So how are we doing distance wise? 419, yes, order of magnitude about 400 miles. Makes sense. Check the legs, do the rest later. 5 minutes to go. Let's the APU started. So still no ATC. We're not picking up BOS, we're not going to see that.
Traffic, very nice uplifting the island, right up.
Just going to mute that for a bit. Back on. And we are ready to go. So I just adjusted my headset there. So let's get the doors shut. Man, I started the wrong one. Already had a minute, so we're looking to do now. That looks good enough.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Uh, 147 on the MCP. Initial stop for director on my side. Days. So it just goes to show how quickly you can get set up.
It's also an indication for you to actually make sure that your seatbelt is securely fastened and ready for departure.
EPU is on the bus. Get the door shut. The brake is set.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And we'll wait until 1300 to push. A bit quicker than that. Is there anyone about? Yeah, there's a few. These the old place is Stansted. All of the pumps on now. Those don't go out. Turn them off. Good, I have reset that.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
I don't know what livery that is, but it looks fun. There he is, Rhino. Say it was Rhino. Yeah. Interesting.
Should we push a bit here, I'm going to few moments, make sure PC modes are securely fastened. If you're still using a phone, we would appreciate if you slowly make sure to switch that. You will be taking a fantastic curve on a short journey. Yours were meant before the departure. Would appreciate your full attention as the safety is paramount here. Thank you.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Stands the traffic, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, push and start, stand for Charlie. Traffic. So, brakes off. Timer's set,
Start
1300,
pushback and you may
6.6.
start engines.
If you have joined in chat, please say hi. Free to ask any questions. Relatively quiet trip otherwise. And it's only 1 hour 14 minutes in the cruise, hour and a half sector. It's a relatively short push. Double check the frame rate, you can see it's still a bit. It's all these lights, these objects that are sort of buried in here for I don't know what reason. Maybe it's roads. It could be that that needs exclusion. Something that you should do in the scenery. Who knows? 20 frames per second isn't a deal. Double checking the overlay is not working. And we might as well get to the end start. So packs off. Got an ISO zone open. Start engine number 2. Looking for 25% fuel up.
Operation complete. Set parking brakes. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, brake is set. Off 2, 4, 6, 3. Start engine.
Traffic runway 84,
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the
6,
left.
3.
We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Wait till we see the pin. And you can see hydraulic, the master caution is still on, so stop you from getting. See the pin. Terminate that if you need to, but there it is. So, on, flap 5. Again, do this in reality. It's a sim thing, you'll be feeling the controls. Of course, you're not necessarily going to feel any resistance in your controller with full free and correct movement. Okay. Trim 5, start switches 2 on. It's checked, and of course, if we had left the hydraulic pump like that, then even if we'd cleared that, calling it would bring it back on. Not a real hydraulic pump, so I'm not going to damage it. There we go. So before taxi gen's on, APU is off, not required. Start switch is continuous. Probe heat. I managed to forget. That's why we've got a checklist. Anti-ice, not required. Air conditioning. We've got to see PAX auto. Leads on. Isolation valve auto. Wow, what beast. Flap. 5 required, 5 set. Green light. It's a 26K 44, so rated takeoff, rather than DTO1 for 24. DTO2 for 2K. Stab trim, 5 required, 5 set. Start levers, 2 idle D10. My controls checked, checked. Taxi. Standstill traffic, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray taxiing. Charlie West, Charlie Sierra, hold Sierra 1. Standstill traffic.
105, runway 22.
Okay, brakes off. Config is checked. welcome to anyone who is watching. Please feel free to say hi. You may need to subscribe. My way of bribing you. Bribing people for more subs. Ten knots on the pan. Do the clear left and right, did I? Did I? Yep. A little hook to the right and then left. I am going to weather, terrain. I think you can have both. So we're going to need, I think, at least 10 minutes. Might be more actually for wake turbulence. Going to RML nav. No ATC, so self-cleared. As he starts rolling, I'm going to set the timer. Medium, that's heavy, only 3 minutes. Hold at the hold so we don't cause any by getting in the way. They would be there. I didn't move those. Never mind. Work to do. So 147, 147, flat 5, trip 5, set. If anybody watching wants to check what big turbulence categories are. No, light to medium is 2 minutes. Big old beastie. Now will that trigger the... I've got it set to wing. No, it won't. Frames.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
So we can cheat and have a look. There's nobody on final. Time or distance? Anyway. 13:10. 5. Weeks off. Conflicts checked. Checked. Stands the traffic run S7 Delta X-ray lighting up, taking off 22 code. Just stands the traffic.
Traffic run at 8784, second to runway 22 via Bravo. Billund, Romeo.
Here you go, and as I mentioned, the edits that I made, the lighting a bit better, still haven't done that bit over there. And whilst they have been submitted, I don't know if they've been accepted, so just a bit of tarmac there to recess those. You're doing Clacton as well? It's all over the place. That's the default 7.4. Correct runway. Self-cleared.
2.
There's the runway heading. 40%. Power. Toga. Time. Forward pressure on the controls. Give me those distance marks as well. knots checked. Release that forward pressure. handoff. 3 seconds to 10 degrees.
Positive rate.
Gear up through the dead band. 8 degrees. Flight director. Initially.
400.
LNAV. Bay.
Traffic rider
1000.
running up on your shoot.
Right, some Delta X-ray airborne. So it's 210 round this turn. Go to flap 1. I'll tell you what though, we can go 210, see how the aeroplane handles it accelerating. Flap 1.
So traffic rider at 740 from 22 transit.
Thousand to go.
So we'll let the aeroplane settle down, get cleaned up. So on to take off, break off, flaps up, no lights gear. Start switches, leave them continuous just in case we NTIS, pressurization started, 4 pumps. And we are level at 4. So 06 is still 4, able to accelerate in a moment. That's interesting, so that's max 210, this is max 250. No speed restrictions. Correct, I suppose it starts at that point, doesn't it? It's 210 round the turn. Does make sense. So, have a look traffic wise, there is absolutely nothing. So, let's set our final cruise, or at least, why don't we set 10? Get the aeroplane climbing. 3.5, as I said, we'll leave the start switches continuous. 250 is the aeroplane starting the climb. And look down, 1, 2, 4. All gone. Big VNAV. I think that was a smoother way to do it. Set standard because we're climbing to a flight level now. 992. As I see absolutely nothing. There's that guy from earlier. No. Crashed maybe. It looked like a long old takeoff run. So we can set 3.5 final cruise. Once, twice, times. .5. Where are we? Up to 18. Crossing these off the FFP. I'll probably just overhead collect. It says after SSE 11, so maybe it should have been 210 until then. as the weather changing. So that's why I'm leaving the start switches to continuous, because we may all of a sudden pop the anti-ice on. There's 10. So I am going to clear these restrictions. Go. There's the airplane accelerating, lights off. 4 pumps, diffs at 4, cabins at 2, climbing steady. Seems pretty smooth, so let's chat on our way. So still a bit stuttery, sadly, even though frames have gone up. So Cron 1K, yeah, self-cleared for takeoff. That's us, total rebels. This is behind us. No, that was me too. I think I hit the autopilot disconnect there. He's sneaking up on us because he went straight to cruise. He might be out climbing us a bit as well. Maybe not. Anyone see anyone else in this shot? No, never mind. Copenhagen was on earlier, but they're not online. So plus 2.4 and descending should just about climb them. The total flight time is 1 hour 14. It might be a little bit long. Which also gets these a smidge wrong. Anyway, we are overhead Clacton at 1.9. So we're now 1 minute behind schedule. And we got 5.7. We started off with 6.6. Is that 900 we've burnt? So we've actually got a couple hundred kilos in the bag there. So our estimated arrival time is 14:24. Add 1 minute, 14:25. That's why it's well worth the OFP. You can keep an eye on fuel, timings, etc. So airways now, we're off the SID. So we can get rid of that. I might try the RMP for the arrival, although it doesn't matter, just because it doesn't appear to be working. Before I do that though, the arrival 003, passing 200, another 10 check. Go cabins. The diff is at 6, cabins at 4, climbing steadily. What I mean by that is 500, 1,000, 1,500 sometimes is a bit much, but the cabin goes ding off the scale, and that is just done a fuel check anyway. So yeah, relatively short sectors. I do prefer them. This one's pretty much mostly over the water, sort of northeast along the coast of Holland, etc. It's getting to the FIR boundary, and then we just go direct well, it was direct for a couple of points, wasn't it? So the airbase, a bit of a mad keen turn. That would have been his airway. So yeah, nice short flight, which I like. Yeah, depending on the weather, we'll see what I would like to try the RNAV to see if I can working. Can't think what I'm doing incorrectly. That overhead Ratlow 22, so again, well, it says 11 minutes. We're probably actually on schedule, give or take. 11-minute flight time, and it's probably just a slight bit of rounding, 5.4 overhead. So burn 1.2. Forecast was 1355, so still within, and I've adjusted the fuel figures. The factor is plus 5%, because I think Simbrief was underestimating burn, which is fine. It's certainly possible to tweak that. Used to get the climb fuel very, very wrong. The guy that was behind us, LDZA, I don't even know where that is. Oh, he was in an A320. Squawking 1200, tut. That was Sean Gutherless. He's South African Singapore server. 1200 is probably a sort of flight sim thing, isn't it? Default score. Conspicuity in the UK is 7,000 for the FR and 2,000 for IFR. Long time to set up for your arrival. Well, an hour in the cruise is still quite a long time. Have a long look at the progress page. Top of climb is 13:29, so plenty of time there. But I mean, you are right, Cron. I think I've certainly seen simmers that seem to think that a short flight will be easier, when of course it's actually much more difficult. You've got a huge amount more to think about in a much more compressed amount of time. Hence why I haven't done the descent forecast winds or anything, because I don't need to. But you can see that, I mean, we've got, that's 80 miles, so it's a good 150 miles at least before top of descent. Without putting the procedure in, that will change slightly, but you know, that's got a bit of time. And don't forget, you can always prep your spend more time prepping on the ground with less stress. Take 40 minutes to set up instead of 20. You can do it in 20. Especially if you're offline, it's dead easy. You know exactly what you pick. Sorry, I'm just dating. The FIR boundary is SOMVA, which we're coming up to, and then we're on to the downhill, not online. But yeah, spend more time, do the descent forecast. They're not going to change. Okay, the weather might slightly. You don't have to do them in the cruise. You can set your arrival up on the ground. You can do the whole route whilst you've got absolutely nothing else to think about. But yeah, I mean, I like to do them just because a long time in cruise I find we've got enough time in this cruise, even with a quick toilet break for the, just trying to estimate that, plenty of time to do that. 10 check, so 300 last one, If they're 7.4, 6, going out of control, and that's it. Okay, so Kron, you're an Aussie on cruise time. So Melbourne, where's MLT? Yeah, makes sense. You get everything done, set the route up. You don't have to change it in the air. Now, if you are flying a line, you know that can change. So often there isn't always a huge amount. Depending on the type of star, if it's one star for all the runways, then of course that's probably going to change. It's just a case of picking a runway. But just like in reality, be able to find out which runway is in use before you go, you'd have a fair idea. And you can always just brief for both. I said there was no stars at Billund, so LEGPI, yes, EVGA, EI, haven't got many airports. So arrival 0, approach, we'll have a look at both, expecting Zulu. What was the difference between the two? I think it was just this approach reference wasn't the DME. Just Tassie. Okay, yeah. I've been all around Australia, but I never went to Tassie, which I'm sad about, to be honest. Doing. Let's have a look at the airport itself as well. So that one, then that one stands for Ryanair, virtual Ryanair Tommy 25 and 26. So we're going to aim to vacate Foxtrot. I think there's been a bit of work because their distances have changed, or they've measured them. But we've got at least, what does that look like to you? 2/3. Half is probably about here. 3/4, 2/3. But we do have here Bravo and Foxtrot.
1,000 to go.
See there that there is 2323, and we almost have to be at stop because that's not going up. No high speed exit. Even if we went to the end, it's not high speed, so there's no benefit in doing that. So plan the landing performance. Brake to vacate, brake to stop effectively. There, I guess, or as close to as possible. If it's stopping before there, then we can ease off. Official. At least you know you're not going to overrun your exit. There's runway occupancy. The layout here, it's not even as if really come off early and then cut back along. So there is top of climb. It's 2.9. 19 minutes. We're actually minus 1. It's close enough, really, isn't it? 0 kilos in the hand. We're over MAVAS. We've got no ATC to talk to because Amsterdam is not online. So it is 13:29 plus 1 minute. I think, like I say, it's lost in rounding. 5.06. We are in Amsterdam FIR for there's only a couple of minutes. Yes, we're right on the boundary between the two. FIR boundaries aren't shown here, are they? Is rubbish. So, how long until top of descent? 100. Hey, I said 160, didn't I? Not bad by eyeball. 13:54, 24-minute cruise. Will change slightly because I think it's back. So, pop the descent forecasts in. It's going to be 310, 200, 100, and they are 215, 57. 216 and 6, and this just refines the profile. Just leave the other one, it just refines it, improves your consumption. Said that it was 1003, I'll check. And if we have a look at the charts, the transition altitude is 3000. In all of Europe, the transition level will be by ATC. Pressure is relatively, it's between 995, it's lower than standard. So, with an altitude of 3000, makes the transition levels 5. And because it's a variable in Europe, there needs to be 1,000 feet between the lowest usable flight level and traffic at the transition level. So that's what that is. Toxic, hello. Welcome. So what we're probably going to do is cut our direct short, go straight down here. That's effectively a base load. Head in. RNAV. Disqualification required. LBD. Don't have. There is no LBD left. Okay. Because Ignos is, well, you know, it still points. It's not. Nice little Brexit fallout. Yeah. It's a big old continent as well, but hey, it's one less thing. So not only does the transition level vary in Europe based on pressure, but in the UK, I don't know about elsewhere, but certainly in the UK, transition altitude varies as well. Under the London TMA, it's 6,000 feet. By the standard transition altitude in the UK is 3,000 feet, but some places it's 4, a couple where it's 5. Either way, it's grief. It's listed in the AIP. I don't think anybody's made a map yet, but it depends. It depends on which airway sectors, not airway, which airspace sectors you are under is the definition of what the transition altitude is, which is this grief. How they manage in the US with just 18,000. No reporting points anywhere, I don't know, but I suppose it's so high. No. The benefit of a low transition altitude is that everyone is flying standard above it. So when you're doing a cross country, if you're at 4,000 feet, you're at 0 or 50, everyone's on the same. So there's concern terrain. The downside and the reason why it is not so low in busy airspace in the UK is if the transition altitude is 3,000 feet. It means that you are switching to a pressure setting very late and very close to the ground. That's the concern. So you can see the benefits. You can imagine doing a cross-country flight, let's say in a little regional airline, like a turboprop, if you were pooling about at flight level 120 in the UK. That's in the States, that's on QNH, data QNH all the time. So yeah, there's got to be a happy medium. I don't think there is really a simple answer. It's a disadvantage whichever way round you do it. Even 6 is a little bit high. I like to cruise as high as possible. Generally not going above 8 in a light single if I can. Because higher up is smoother, less traffic, if it's uncontrolled. I don't know what the airspace structure is like in Australia, but I imagine it's relatively sparse. So, just looking, still seeing EKDK Centre. Let's talk to them in a minute. Copenhagen's back online for 01, so we've got a bit of time. Get that tuned up and ready. 121 75. It's a bit of a cheat on VATSIM using Xpilot, but because they don't match the real world, you can't really pre-plan it, do the charts, etc. So we've done the descent forecast. Have a look at it. Plan that in a said, let's get the charts up so that you guys can see. So there's the ILS, which I'm going to set to 264. I'll tell you what, at the first time at that. So we're going direct, isn't it? Right down there. So at 1320, wind was 200, head. The variable between 170 and 0, rated 10k visible. Light showers of rain. What do showers mean? Cloud. Clouds of 1,000. Broken, that makes the ceiling. Greater than half sky coverage. No, sorry, few at 1,500 CBs. And broken at 2,200. Temperature of 5. Dew point of 4. QNH 002, which is quite close to what we had. So we can update that, not that it makes much difference. 30-foot difference to the profile. Negligible. So descent we've done. Arrival. So the runways are 27009, 200, the wind is 70 degrees off, which is effectively all crosswind, a slight headwind component. So, try 27. And then we try Bavina. So that gives us that base leg, even though it takes us a little bit further out. We could create a custom waypoint, but my model is not that much different. So, pop that in and execute it. See that that's given us our last waypoint, it was the airfield. It's given us a discontinuity. Thinking about where GELBA is, stepping to it, you can see that GELBA is very close to the aerodrome. If I zoom that in a bit, that's how we would have gone. So we could do that, go across, or we could just go direct straight. I think that's what I'm going to do. Ah no, we've got a controller on mine now. It's going to be interesting. So why don't we just plan that as filed, and then we can request the transition via Uvina. I'd like to think that's the shortcut. So let's just clear that discontinuity. That's going to increase our track miles, so the fuel. Uvina above 3, Oxa above 3, LRIT above 2. From the chart, I would say it's fair to just go at 2,000 foot hard altitude. See, it's reducing speeds. Didn't do the MSAs on departure, did I? Not that it matters, they are on the chart. So that's what I'd like to do. We'll get the nav aids tuned for the ILS. Are there any aids that we find useful? Like a VOR. I believe that there isn't one here. Maybe that's what the other approach chart for the key is. Let's have a look. So ILS or oh, there's a separate DME. So that's the ILS DME, separate DME of 10975, which is Billund. Oh, that's interesting. So, unlike in the UK where the DME is located in the centre, it's biased to rend, which I will DME and the threshold as well. Interesting, just a different way of doing it, I suppose. So that doesn't help. So we'll chance see if it by or not. On 6.6, where do we try? So for the ILS. So we've got the chart, we can do that. I'd like to try the RNAV 264. Set it both sides, it doesn't really matter. Zibo. See, that's kind of nearby. Oh, let's see it, never mind. So let's set 264 on both. Remember I say you don't need to set the ILS on both sides. In reality you do to be able to monitor it on both sides. But the system doesn't care if you're using Command A, it just needs to be on the left hand side. And the aeroplane also, if we do try an ILS, we'll try an auto land. Oh no, this one is, I want a Cat 1 runway and X-plane, just to be able to prove the point that the aeroplane doesn't care what category the runway is or the ILS. It doesn't know, it will never mind. So I think I've seen some more recent confusion about that. So, heaviest we're going to be is if the Vina TUSKA, that'll make no change. Still 3.7. Okay. So current 4.5 minus 3.7. That's 4.4. Take away 7 now. 4.7, which we take off of. Now that's working. 7. 0.7 off that. 0.7. This is 62.4. So let's plug that in into landing calculator. Try flat 31st, runway 27. Got the wind at 200. 10. No, temperature 5. QNH is 1002. 62.4. Idle reverse, that's in the charts. Headwind. I suppose the point is the headwind is a small component, but you can see that the crosswind is almost all, so it's relatively negligible. It's using the FDR clock to work that out. And I think I said I want to vacate at Foxtrot or Bravo 2323 because we will vacate at Foxtrot 2356. Probably going to stop us, or at least bring us down quite nicely, I think. So we'll use order brake 2. We will request the RNAV. And it's got high minimums anyway, with minima 4 nav. See here, so that's the plan. In, out, down. Made that modification to a hard 2. And So that's interesting. RMP27. RMP27. I've got the airline chart, and the CAT C. No, it is the same. 634. I was just. So 634 are our minimums. Is effectively it. Hopefully we will speak to someone soon. For your flight in Copenhagen. So we've got all the information that we need. He will ask for RMP. The highest MSAs in our sector, it looks like it's feet east 2-3 out to 2-3. So we put our fixed rings in. I'm going to use 5. Maybe IMC. There's no harm in putting 5 as a reminder. And ourselves a 30-mile ring, because that's roughly the 10,000 foot. Says it. Progress page for this one if we need. So 145 plus 5, 50. I'm going to expect to potentially be given a shortcut, etc. If we do get that, and that shortens the distance to speed, to bleed that off, and speed break as required. So I'm going to go for a quick toilet break and look flight plan. TUSKA is the FIR bound, so probably give them a call before then. tired or bored, Cron? Flying Concorde. I don't mind a 3-hour cruise in that aeroplane, but yeah, it is pretty boring. Long cruises. You can print off the OFP, and you can fill in. You can fill in your. Yeah, top of descent is before you can fill in. I'm just actually looking to fill in the flight log, which can give you something to do at least, and is usually quite worthwhile when it comes to ensuring that you're going to be running out of fuel every now and then on the Facebook or the forums. I think it's fair to say that we do occasionally see that. And it's an interesting concept. I was having a drink at your game. I was having a drink with some friends, one of whom has some aviation experience and a few who don't. And the ones who don't were, let's say, shocked to realise that you don't fill an aeroplane really to the top for one reason. When you take enough, you get in. That seemed like quite a concept to as did explaining that you fill the wing tanks first, fill the centre, because it gives the wing rigidity, max weight the aeroplane, and max fuel the centre, probably snap. So that was a fun learning experience for all concerned, I believe. Anyway, descent. Yes, he's just about to call us. Peter Toft. I bet he's going to have a great accent, isn't he? Copenhagen Control, good afternoon. Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, flight level 350 LEGPI.
Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, Copenhagen Control, squawk 5153.
Squawk 5153, 7 Delta X-ray. Wrong window. Expect Vectors Isla Zulu 27 direct TUSKA, request RMP 27, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray.
7 Delta X-ray, yes, you can expect so, proceed direct to Uvina.
Expect RMP 27 and direct to Uvina, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. So let's get that sorted first. As you can see, I think we should have descended. Ready? Where is our vertical guidance? There's nothing. That's interesting. Top of descent can't be all the way. Interesting. That is showing that end of descent is 3. That can't be right. If a hard 3, will it update? No. So just using the 3 times rule, I think our top of descent was out here, so that was a waste of time putting in forecast winds. Still 3.7 on arrival. When ready, descent flight level 130, Ryanair 7. Go.
Scandinavia 265, base code Copenhagen, approach on 19 decimal 8.
So I think that should still display.
SOMVA Blake 0.
So 7.5, we are above profile. So what we will do, let's bring that down, get the aeroplane descending. Let's check, we'll do the approach brief as we are going to do. Let's use vertical speed, let's get the aeroplane descending, accelerating. Then we will go level change, I think 7.8, 300 once we get to change over. See if we can get down quick. See that the profile's starting to come back in. And we could leave it in level, in vertical speed, but we don't want to get an overspeed condition. The reason I'm not increasing MCP speed. Accelerate using thrust. Profile's still coming back in very high. I mean, it was a bit of a shortcut. You see that as you start to descend, it's quite substantially. Copenhagen's online. It's going to double check, take that leg. So that still includes the decels. Shouldn't get given any more directs. You can see now we're starting to close, but decimal 7.8 is what I would have picked anyway. Let's pop that onto level change. I said that was roughly interesting. Roughly what I would have picked. So cabin is descending. 250 checked with the chart. So approach course is 264. LRIT at 2 is outlights checkpoint. Glide path really, isn't it? The LBVs 444, but we are going 634. Need 1100 meters with the approach lights on. 1800, it's not working. And the weather has not updated, so 2. Need a few more track miles, but again, don't be afraid, especially if you're on just 2 miles early. Water brake is set for us to vacate right. We'll tell which stand that we think we want. It's cloud layer, well done. Skyscapes. Frame rate. Now we're being limited by the GPU. Well, I can live with that because that's the CPU. Take it. Stand 25 and 26. Still gaining with the profile. Now I'm going to be a bit high. Now the controller should realise that, but if they don't, or they're busy, don't be afraid to prompt them. Let them know that you need a bit of help. Track miles. So, present Set my DOR. So yeah, that's better. Bit blocky. We're going quite quickly though. Information India, descent flight level 50, right, 7,000 meters. I didn't see that on. So let's just check it, shall we? 1180. Approach on request, 45, 210. Yeah, 1002, exactly the same as so I was picking up the GPU, saying it could hack it. Seems to be stretching it a little bit. So I need something between.
Scandinavian 596, Copenhagen Control, hello, squawk 4460.
So do now is set vertical speed
4460 over Scandinavian 596.
back to 240. Speed breakout. You're closing with the profile. Not closing with the profile anymore. You're slowing. Go down and slow down, we are still a bit high.
Scandinavian 596 sequence and Scandinavian 596 identified in Gigabyte 2 Foxtrot arriving for runway 22 left, descent level 200. Level 200 for Scandinavian 596 and moment 2 Foxtrot arrival.
So we are slowing and descending. Struggle. Especially with that tailwind. Descent altitude 3,000 feet, QNH 1002 via Vina cleared, RMP 27, Wilco right near 7,000 X-ray. 002.
Copenhagen Chapter, Scandinavian Bound request.
That's on. Pumps on. Everyone's sat down.
9,000.
Just about meeting the restriction.
Scandinavian 565 Copenhagen identified.
Keep that coming back. There's no speed restriction.
Flight 30, Scandinavian 565.
And we can use flap and speed brake if we really need to. See the profiles coming back in. Allow the speed to come back as well. So we could have used speed brake a little bit earlier, if I'm honest, but I think we're working out okay. Nuclear bomb's been let off.
Scandinavian 596, proceed direct next. Direct next over Scandinavian 596.
Don't forget that's got some decel built into the profile as well, so the ahead of the aeroplane if we get back on profile 220. So let's see what happens if I stow speed brakes now. Maintain speed, I'm increasing slightly. So what we can do is back into VNAV, speed into vent, leaving the speed brakes out. Should work out. There you go, rescued it. Keep that speed coming back. Cleared for the approach. Speed brake out. 208. Hello. Gotta give a blast of wing anti-ice. Just playing. Keep an eye out. Good. Speed brake stowed. Take flap 1. Speed enter vent off. Now the speed is coming back. We may need a little bit of speed brake to help. So we're down to 3. Bring that speed back. Just manually. It's 334. So you can see no guidance again. I haven't got VORG. The instruction was to report final, at least returning final. Doing too badly. Switch to the ILS. I. SF Delta X-ray turning final RMP 27 Billund.
Thank you. Runway 27 clear to land, surface winds 200 degrees 8 knots.
Clear to land 27, right, SF Delta X-ray. Okay, I can see it, so I'm worried that we haven't got deviation scales. Are we high? Speed brake as the airplane pitches. Still increasing, so big flap 5.
1,000 to go.
So, step down to 2 at LRIT. Brake stowed. Arm it and hopefully leave it. And the speed is gradually coming back. Live with, cleared. Frame rates are good.
Coding fuel low, scanning 646. 1220 inbound mega.
646 coming in, control identified. More like 2 Foxtrot arrival for runway 22 left. Descent level 200.
2500.
There we go, that's coming back nicely.
Foxtrot Alpha, that's 2 left, Faltu 70,
TSN level 200.
and 646.
So we're within 1 mile, so 700.
1,000 to go.
So 5.2 from the runway, we are at 2. Quite sure why the airplane pitched so aggressively there. Happy to continue because we're visual. Four miles, gear down. Lap 15. Airplane's going to match speed. Speed brake armed. Brake set. Putting on landing flap, gear down. Lap 15. Start switch is continuous. Checked. 1,000. About 500. So within 1,000, we can set 2,000 for the mist. 125. There's the white arc. So we'll set to
Flaps.
flap 30. Check this complete. Snake by 500.
Approaching 27.
Whoa, triplet out of the trim there.
Scandinavian 5996, call Copenhagen approach on 119.8.
Continue, we did have a little glitch of 1,050 there. Profile. Right, the wind a lot.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
That wasn't very good. Did the airplane pop itself and go around the way?
80 knots.
Okay, we are going to stop. So it did go around mode. Definitely a mad bounce. And I think we want to vacate up here. Check the landing rate on that. Braking. Right, SF Delta X-ray would like to vacate Foxtrot for stand 25 or 26.
So Delta Foxtrot, as you please, on count time 15, via Foxtrot to stand of your own choice.
Okay, Foxtrot, stand of my choice, thanks. SF Delta X-ray.
No worries.
Replay of that will be fun. So down to 10 knots. Start the APU. Nope, not off, there we go. An SF Delta X-ray runway vacated.
Roger. Scandinavian 565, you're leaving my airspace, switch to Unicom, bye-bye.
Unicom 122 supply, Scandinavian 565, thank you.
Scandinavian 646, contact Copenhagen approach 119, decimal 8.
So it should just be straight ahead, I think.
Copenhagen approach 119, decimal 8, 646.
He breaks up, as are the flaps, done the transponder, lots. See if we get some better vision. That looks better. So 25, 26. I don't know which is which. We go 26 over here. Speed as we roll in. Oh, okay, that's one. Markings look a bit interesting. There's a lot of power. Do have to excuse the cheating. This is slightly uphill, so we must be. Oh, it's quite uphill. Shadow gone. Just because the angle of the sun. Anyway. Brake set. 19 minutes. 2 blues, 1 red. Engine's dead. It was not a landing to be proud of. Let's see what the time is in a minute. Let's see what the time is compared to the schedule. Let's see how quickly we get going. Okay, so. Oh no, we should have left that one on, turn that one off. For the turnaround. We're on ground power, so we can kill the APU. We set that down to 0, I guess, or 2000. It should definitely be set to something. I know we're going back 350. We can leave those on, off. 0, belts are released. It's on. I think. So, that was 104 right. 190 lock. 3.6 used 501. Reset that. I don't think there's anything else to do. Open the door, eliminate the flight leg, and welcome to Billund. Oh, it says we bounced loads of times. 148 feet. Really that bad? We bounced 3 times. Not great. Not great at all. So, go back to sim brief. And take the briefing. Disconnect briefly. VATSIM. File. Turn. Connect. That's it. That was me getting the flight plan and refiling it. Get rid of both of those. Back to Stansted and etc. So it's 14:22. We've got 50 minutes. I think I'll aim to get going at 1500, so we'll be a little bit early. If that's alright with everyone else. We might even be a little bit before then, to be honest. So, let's approach rating. Great, landing really stars. So, our return trip is 5 max. Is 1872, we'll put that. I definitely don't think anybody cleans the cabin in between. You have to go and pick up everybody's junk yourself. So, stand 25. Belanta I have done. Pegasus, I start running at 14 and 23. So we need to be pushed back by 03. Stand 26, we've done the loading. Fuel we need 7.3, so let's all that.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
And I'm just going to reload the flight plan in active sky. Good. So.
All stations coming in control will be away for 1 minute.
Still feels, so that's good. You can see that dropping on. GPU starts to work hard. Maybe we shouldn't need it in performance because I mean that's still 30 frames a second. What's going on there? Just feels laggy though. Oh, okay. There's a lot of weather going on there. So. High performance. It's changed. It was certainly better performing. I don't know. So, there we are getting our fuel. I have done Xpilot, I've done VATSIM, Active Sky. Let's are requesting 7.3. Expect us to get that, so I'm just writing that all over the operational flight plan. I've already written all the ETAs over it, and of course we're early for a lot. Leave early. So we can reset that clock, reset that one, reset that. Waiting on the fuel. So he's going to be back in a little bit. Why don't we listen to the ATIS, see if it's changed? You'll notice it won't tick over to 1 month.
Coming in control spec.
Do I speak German? Train X? No, I'm sorry.
Arrival information, Juliet.
Met report 1350, expect ILS approach, visual approach on request, runway 27 in use. Transition level 45, wind 200 degrees 8 knots. Visibility more than 10 kilometers, sky condition. Few at cumulonimbus 1,500 feet. Few at 1,800 feet. Broken 2,800 feet. Temperature 4, 2.3 QNH 1002. This was Billund Airport departure and arrival information, Juliet.
Okay, happy. So we can go back to the index. Don't need to do position, but we do need to. There we are. What stand are we on? 2.6. I think. Same full sign. And load up and check the route. So we are going direct. No, we're doing departure to MIKRO, November 873. Recent. Apu 174 Yield 72. Compass VOR Lima 980 to IDRID, Mike 40 to IDESI, and then it's actually direct. There isn't a star from there, but this is MIKRO control validated. So interesting. Gonna activate that. Know what runway we're going to be using, and I assume there's only one thing. So 5 alpha. Plumb that in. It's fun. Set the rest up. So 0 fuel weight 56.6. That's more like it. $56.5 was the plan.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
63.9, a little bit heavy on the estimated takeoff. 56.6, 7.3, so that's what we asked for. 2.3 is the reserves. The reserves is 2118 Gatwick, so round it up to 2.3. Of course, the next 6 we definitely don't need to make up any time. 0 on back, the top of climb wind. 40. Nice deviation. It's 4. Position altitude is 3000 at the airfield. Let's check that. Still use this one. There it is. So this one. Check and get clearance. I'll just clear these off the screen and I'll look time. But I have already got the route saved in Navigraph. So, and you can do that in the browser before your flight, so it saves you time faffing about. So, Crow, it's an RNAV departure. It's good. Right, let's get the clearance, shall we? And fueling. So we've got Copenhagen control, right now 7 Delta X-ray.
7 Delta X-ray, Copenhagen control.
737-800, stand 26 at Billund, request departure clearance from return to standstill.
And 7 Delta X-ray information, Juliet, current QNH is 1002, the time is 31, clearance is to standstill, MIKRO 5 Alpha departure, squawk 5212.
Information Juliet, QNH 1002, 31, equals 5 Alpha departure, squawk 5212. to run S7 Delta X-ray.
7 Delta X-ray, correct. Start up and push your discretion. There is no traffic reported.
Thank you, sir. Run S7 Delta X-ray. Good. So all of that. Squawk in 5212. So the departure, the initial climb clearance is 60, which we have been cleared to. Runway heading is 264. It's an RNAV departure, 700 or above, but not before 1 DME on 110.7. Set. I think we should pick up the DME off the VOR there. I could be wrong. Then it's a flyover. Is there anything else to do? The MSA is 2100. The aerodrome reference point. MIKRO 5 Alpha, yes. Double check the legs. Anyway, 700. 371 is a flyover, and you can see that the turn doesn't start until we get there, so that's good. And that's it. Kratos, hello. Thanks for saying. So, let's pop in the MSA. Climb on track at 700, but not before 1 DM. Turn right. Turn left at MIKRO. Fine, deal with that. So, performance-wise, 63.9. We've got a bit of a long taxiway, haven't we? So, I will go for 63.8. Plug that into apps off. KPI 27, and I think we have some options. So what I'm going to do is plan that 100 kilos. Actually, let's plan C, the full power to B. So 26k. No assumed temperature, flap 5. Dry runway, let's update the METAR 41002, winds 240 at 7. 8. Gone. Did I get that right? Should we have another listen?
This is Billund Airport departure and arrival information Kilo. MET report 1420, expect ILS approach, visual approach on request, runway 27 in use. Transition level 45, wind 240 degrees 7 knots, variable between 210 and 290 degrees. Visibility more than 10 kilometers, light showers of rain, sky condition. Few at 800 feet. Broken 1,300 feet. Few at cumulonimbus 1,500 feet. Temperature 4, 2.3 QNH 1002. This was Billund Airport departure and arrival information.
Okay, so that has changed. So, what do we need? Absolute best case is 1590. Flap is 1600. That's not going to change, so so, Mike is the only intersection that's really available to us. So actually what I just did was a bit of a waste of time. 2174, plug that into the calculator. Should have done that first, 2174. gives us flap 5, so if we go to Mike, to flap 5, 4K toga, and that gives us 69, something like that, 662, and the Tora was 2174. 512 stop margin, fine. Just take that. 24K toga, runway 27, Mike. 74, just double checking because this is what will kill you. Good. So, lump that in. 24K toga, flap 5, rib 5, set the trip, remember to get into on landing. We've got 135, 136, 145 matches the calculator perfectly. Okay, so runway is still classed as dry in showers. Excellent. So I've got that scribbled down for my own reference. Some turns after departure, so let's 1,000. There is no speed restriction, so I suppose you can just take that turn. Massive. See how we get on for departure. Certainly 700 or 1 DME, whichever is the right turn. Check the legs because there's no check. Figure out how we get into standstill. There might be some easy online sounds. So 24 toga. Perfect. Distance 447, about the same, 400-ish. Back. Sense. Days. I'll go before 43. We can push and start at our discretion. Hunter's sat down. Let's get this pre-planned. I don't think it matters which way we go. What I am going to do though is, just in case there's any traffic, I suppose there's a road there. Let's just do it instead. You can see what I was thinking there. Actually, is there this ramp? Yes, I suppose we could go via. Just do that.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
So, no icing. Frames are looking okay. Get the APU started. And they only allow 5 minutes. 7.3. You can run through the before start checklist if you wish. The safety inspection will get removed, of course. But IRSs, gear pins. As you can see there, it stars. Of course, it's the stars that you do. Turn around. of course, you may have noticed I don't do that if you feel that you need to. So, relatively simple to yourself. You can see my director master on my side again. The AP bus.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
So we could be off 25 minutes early. A little helps, rather than hang about. See that the pushback target changed there. So we don't need to call up, we were given push to start out discretion.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Pays off. Okay, there's one thing we didn't set. Was 380. Panel scan. There's 3 minutes. So we can get the AP on. Waiting for the pushback.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
So, quick look round. Go back that way. So, aeroplane's secure. Given our discretion in push. Break off is 15.
Starting pushback and you may start engines.
Which is 20 minutes with no rush, to be honest. So it's a bit of a long push. Started straight away. The aim is to be starting engine number. Tow is disconnecting, so we can probably. Starting the turn, so max off. Start engine number 2. What? So you heard the starter cut out. 2, 6, 3. Showery rain.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting toes, stand by.
Start engine number 1. They there, came up at the same point, should have been paying more attention.
Toe is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
So I'm going to pop all the ice on initially. See the pit. There it is. Lap 5. Flight controls, full forward, full left rudder, right rudder, checked, check was meant 5, 2, D10, start levers, the flap pad, checked, 4 taxi checklist, generators on, off, start switches continuous. Forgot the Pro P again, it's because those lights go out. So repeats are on, anti-ice is on. Have to turn it off for takeoff if we still have a little bit of showery rain. It shouldn't make a difference. Air conditioning packs, auto bleeds on, isolation valve. So, flap 5 set, height, stab trim, I've required 5 set. Start levers, 2 idle D10 flight controls. Checked, we are ready to taxi. Copenhagen Control Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray information Kilo QNH 1002 request taxi at Billund runway 27 can accept Mike intersection departure.
7 Delta X-ray, Kilo correct with 1002, taxi via Foxtrot and Kilo, tolling point runway 27, Mike is your call if you want.
Taxi via Foxtrot Kilo, runway 27, and advise if we're taking off at Mike Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray.
7 Delta X-ray, report ready for departure.
Wilco Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Good. So, have been cleared. We are clear to the left. We're going to taxi round to the clear right. Can get rid of that. And update the performance as we get the brakes off. Configs checked. So all I'm going to do is switch that to engine. Don't need wing. Tentatively. Ghosting's a bit weird, isn't it? Let's pay taxi first. Woo. Kilo is the second, so it's Foxtrot Kilo. That affects our V speeds. No, it affects flat. $6K Toga. Okay. It doesn't matter that it says anti-ice wing and rips off. Maybe it makes a difference initially. So flap 5, 26k toga. Three, 4, 6, so we can take that one.
Control of the 827 with you and passing 75.
475, trims updated. Oh, now of course the rain stops. Okay. It is showers.
After 827, sorry about that. Copenhagen Control, you identified, climb to level 3.
Oh, now departure, RTO set. 55, 46, 46. With anti-ice on. 75, 475. Departure checks. So this is the difficulty in the sim. Right? The rain just comes out of nowhere. In reality, you'd see it.
Papa November, Copenhagen identified, Monarch 2 Foxtrot, runway 2 to left, proceed direct next zone and descend to level 200.
Quite a long way down to Mike. So it's going all the way down though.
Papa November, confirm Monarch 2 Foxtrot.
So we're going to be taking off half an hour early at the moment. Probably 28 minutes-ish.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Alpine 4 Papa November, proceed direct to Lamox. Good.
So we have got to slow to 10 because it's only like there. Pulling up well. Anti-ice off. And I'm going to leave the engine anti-ice on just in case we don't rain or cloud. Run S7 Delta X-ray ready for departure. Intersects with Mike, runway 27 Billund.
And S7 Delta X-ray, runway 27 clear for takeoff, 7 French 270 degrees, 7 knots.
We'll take off runway 27, right, 7 Delta X-ray. Cleared. No traffic. Clear right. Better.
Approaching 2,
Still
7.
looks like the fires of hell. Oh. So anti-ice is still on and we'll leave. 6 or 57, correct runway.
On runway 27.
So, okay, I'll call it 57. Power, toga, time. Really knots checked.
V1.
first?
400.
LNAV. 7 or
1000.
Right, 7 Delta X-ray, you identified, climb to flight level 380 direct TUSKA.
flight level 380 direct to TUSKA, right, 7 Delta X-ray. So in that case we are going to go heading select. On day is to get the airplane clear. FO to turn off the wipers. Anti-ice can stay. Clear to 380.
Zebra 4 is November, call Copenhagen approach on 119.8.
Accelerated flap 1. It's twice. Not in VNAV, but in inset. Passing flap up. I am point 250. Passing flap up. Flaps up, no lights.
Uniform command control, hello, you identified. You can expect ILS Zulu approach runway 27 in Billund.
LNAV. VNAV speed, correct. Tight turn. It's gone. Let's move that out a bit. Bye bye Billund. So, I hope everybody's got their Lego sets. More pumps. So 2 and a bit. Count 2, climbing steady. That's twice. Climb page 38, correct. And off we go. Bang into wind. So, T6, 31 minutes early. Given direct to TUSKA. And we took off, I think, 7.2, we're passing 10. So the lights can come off. Probably should have had the logo on, it's getting a bit dark. I'm not convinced it's that dark. Aeroplane is accelerating. Cabin, if it is, that's cabin. Just over 2. Climbing steady. 4 pumps. Checked, we're on our way back to London.
Uniform descent level 130.
It's a bit of a longer route, following the airways back to the cloud layer. I'm going to keep the punter sat down because it felt a bit. There we are into the volumetric clouds. Rate doing completely good. We go popping out of certified clouds is still good.
that's 327.
So just passing 200. Lifts at 6.4, cabins at 4. Steady. That's looking a bit grim, isn't it? Should we let's try and make it look. That is better. That. I mean, there's a lot going on in this scene. Through that. Spare for the anti-ice. So, what is forecast? Well, no, it's not forecast. QNH 1009. Park. So I didn't update the standby. The FIR boundary here. Megan's still online. Something in Germany is. So we'll be on a bit. Let's cruise. Think about how we're going to get into standstill from the IDESI. Over from the so there isn't. Is there one of the throw rivals? That one might be an IDESI. Anyway, needs to go via. It says via Apu. Those. Game from Fox to the sub. Unicom 122.8, thank you very much for the service and see you again soon. -7 Delta X ring, bye bye. There we go. 300. TUSKA. Okay, if you're just going to come and spam legends, then we'll be saying bye-bye. So it is 09. 30 minutes early. 6 overhead. Using about 1.3. Again, we're a couple of 100 kilos in hand. Just have the look and the heading bug. Same there. Occasionally you can get a little twitch if quite enough degrees. The start switch is continuous, just in case we don't clear this. So, for those of you who don't know Stansted particularly well, that in a moment once I've figured out what I'm going to do. Maybe AIDESI isn't that I'm thinking of. Take the charts out in a moment and have a look. I was thinking of Logan as an arrival road. AIDESI. Tanit. Seen that one before. And I didn't fly to Heathrow much. Well, and full. Good. So we can't use that. Plan for the ILS for 2-2 Stansted. And we'll take, I think, direct AIDESI. Keep us out of the way of stuff.
3,000 to go.
Yeah, I was waiting for the altitude alerter. So there's a bit more the online Skiphol's open, but nothing Stansted. Certainly, well, nothing at Stansted at the moment. And our top of climb is forecast 20 minutes. That's about what we've got, isn't it? So Simri is pretty accurate with that. It's 15. So we're 30 minutes ahead of schedule. We started with 7.3 with 5, 6, 7, 200 something kilos. Is what we should have according to the plan. So happy days. Right, I'm going to get a drink. Quick toilet break. You've got E49, not the longest cruise in the world. We've got a bit of time. No, we've got a bit of a headwind. And then we'll plumb in the descent forecasts. Plumb in our arrival. It's IDESI, I think it's just over there somewhere. So we'll figure that out. Try and keep ourselves clear of anyone. Okay, right, I am back. And so, let's have a look. We haven't got any arrivals. So, no, we have. So, initial approach. As we're coming from this distance, makes sense. Doesn't it? 1105. Shoot. Both sides. Sneeze there, so I just had to. So, I'm also going to switch us back 2000. Well, I suppose I don't know how the ATC system seems. We should have kept that. I think this isn't a bad entry. Oh, 2. So we just need to get from IDESI, which is what it is. Okay. Just 1 miles from Barclay. So 625 June. That's set. We know it's trim 2. And 265. Could tune any of these on. Did you guys see that one? Was that flying in the opposite direction below us? I missed it. And 2. Approach. 2. And L. Parking stands. Now there is a no tab. This is shut. There's an offset here. Follow me. The taxiway lighting is on. So we're actually going to have to try and locate it. Right. Chart it, measured it, using the scale on the said chart, and I think that something otherwise we're going to get out. Come back through relatively potentially, especially as it's getting dark. There's a load of grief, so basically. So, chart, highlighting, script, measured, don't forget. So, that's quite nice. Look at that. Sunset haze. Yeah, well, it is. So Ilda, Yield. Coming up to, you see, nice gradual turn based on speed. Variable turn radius, which is nice to see. To approach, gambling approach. Nelson. So 31 minutes, we should have been over here. That's 31 minutes flight time. But of course that should have been at 50:56. So we are early. Overhead at 27. So 1 minute, flying 29 minutes. 2, got 300 kilos additional balls that we used. That's quite nice, isn't it? Up in sunset, we're heading south. We're heading south and then southwest. I think it's a little bit too red. Some drops down, but this is perfect. Yeah, that's where we're going to be going. So let's start getting. Well, let's runway 2. Which should. Have a procedural hold. 6 there, so. Is so Parkway 085, sorry, see that. Yes, I did. Then we will have it. If we hold, I will. So that's going there. That's a 4. Habits or whatever. 6. That's speed restriction. Coming from this one? No, because that is. But it makes sense, but it's charred. So the FAF 6.6. That is a 2.5. Ideally, I want a smooth descent between the 2 rather than level. So we'll see how we get on. Let's see how this looks, shall we? Oh, actually, argue. That. Okay, steep descent, iron. I suppose, in fairness, when you look at that, that is only 6 miles. Fine. So we can pop 10 forecast in. When we get the weather, Stansted. 5081009. Exactly that. 1009, the transition 6000. 70. No, it doesn't. 75. Fine. As always. Gate 0. So totally. Descent forecast 294. That were generated, I don't know, 5 hours ago. We've got to have to descent early. Start the descent a little bit earlier than that. Oh, 5. 2. See how we get on with the flap. We'll aim for 13. That's looking nice. CPU. So, the weather at Stansted current 1520 Zulu. My mic keeps cutting out, doesn't it? I apologise. So this is automatic 250 at 8 knots. Greater than 10k visibility, no cloud detected, temperature of 4, dew point 0, QNH 9. So let's plumb that in with what we get. So 508, temperature 4, that might go down 1. 64, not headwind, right. And we said we needed around about 1500 meters for November. With auto brake 3, it's a high speed exit. If we try T 1625 at the expense of fuel on the approach, still using auto brake 3, 25 meters.
Traffic, circuit 663Z9, minus 2.
Now that's interesting. URF at 5. 60.4, 60.4, 136 there. Different. Really be 141, shouldn't it? interesting. I can't quite figure out why those are different. So let's go flap. T. Six, just to get it to match. Rate 31644. There's a high-speed exit, so you should be able to make that. It is pretty heavy on the brakes. Flat 40 addition, which is less than I do. But that's what we're going to do. Something not to do. So we're overhead compass at what looks to be 3.8. 2 minutes into the flight, so yes. 4.8. Oh. Burned 2. 5. Yep. Confirm it there. On the paper and double check. That was a nice smooth turn, wasn't it? Hello. So, could get the fix, but it is the initial approach fix, so good direct to have it. I do find it strange. A little bit odd. Anyway, it's going to be VFR, so fix wise. There's the MSAs. And you can see them drawn on this chart. Beat sector, minus this 2-1, go into first before heading out that way. About right then. All I did there was just check the distance from. There's our 4 and 10. It was 3.7, wasn't it? We're going to burn 2. It's going to take us down to 60 point. Or we're now arriving with 9. So, happy days. Anyway, back to enjoyment view. I think IDRID is the FIR boundary. Got loads of fuel.
Amsterdam Schiphol traffic, KLM 553 heavy, Boeing 772 taxiing from Foxtrot 72 holding point Sierra 7 by Alpha.
Is there some traffic out there, or is that scenery? Sort of light buoys? Yeah, I guess they are. It's a real shame about the redraws. I'm told that the guy that's making Skyscapes is working. I've read that somewhere. To at least make the transition a little bit, which would be nice. Just, it does break the immersion a bit. So it looks like it's going to be a sunset approach in Stansted. And the sky, I think, does at this time of the simulated day. So, what are you going to do about this descent? Still Heathrow approach and Gatwick approach online. Anything else? Set 10. See how the airplane knows that it's an ILS frequency. ILS and VLS are separate. So I'll tic-tac, right? So you can see where we're heading to. Verging on IDESI. There's traffic about, but I don't think we're going to get in this way. Anyone departing might be a bit of a different story. Seemed a bit violent. So just a little bit early. So Cat 1 minimum is 5 rate. The RVR 550. .05 222. So not quite for the mist, but ILS is also available. Maybe it's an IDESI departure, is that what I'm thinking of? That would kind of make sense. Flight deck to Sim is doing the challenge 650 reveal. That looks like a hell of an aeroplane. So, not a lot to say really. Passing 300. Cabin is descending. I think we are going to be at standstill at 16:14. 20 minutes from now. Sun's. (16:06) is sunset. Standstill today. Six, they're ahead of us. So still 10092508. Changed since 1520. Eye on the frames. Just approach this to come on. There's a fair amount going on. It's not where we are. Where nobody likes Stansted. I think it'd be relatively busy. So 265 initially, then it's going to be 3 for the bulk with VO1. Now for 2. Speed's creeping up a little bit. So difference from normal, it's going to be a flat 40 approach. So don't forget, oh that was handy, popping out of the box out there. Just a little bit too red, isn't it? Too red and a bit too dark. It is good. I mean, what about that scene? I suppose is the question. Other than those blocky changes. Nice gradual turn. Well, it was. So 30 miles out, 5 above. Worry about that. You're inbound to our custom waypoint, which is the initial approach fix. MSA for that sector 1,800. down a bit so that we can see. No GPU at the moment. Expect that will change. So 1550 Zulu, it's 2507 knots. No other changes to 100. Okay, that was dropping off with VATSIM. Reconnected straight away, that's a bit strange. Internet connection's solid, 0 dropped frames, so it was definitely that rather than anything else. And that's server hiccups every now and then. Traffic around, so I have to worry. I'll still make calls once we get to Abbott, for instance. But descent-wise, there's nobody around. So there we are, almost approaching 100. I think 107. was a 6-0, wasn't it? Which led to a steep descent, so we'll be at 6-0 before that. Although, oh hello, now clear sky. There's the speed bleeding off. I'm going to use some speed brake to assist with that. Far too slowly. Speed brake stowed, lights on, secure, pumps on. It's coming down, it's checked. Burns on silent time. And I think I can see our airport. A huge number of lights, and perhaps that is what hits the CPU. Too slow. You see how it then can't work that out. It then noses over that back on path. Odd. Coal. No light. I guess they must do. I thought that was coal. Grass. What is that over there then? That is the no. That's us. Luton. So frame rate is frame rate isn't it? Well, you can see the shaders don't take a lot of processing now. Saw somebody on the ground there. They're holding and waiting. You can see that our trace is recorded. It's quite cool. Clear night, I certainly would expect this. It isn't clear in London, so it is clear over Stansted, perhaps. Maybe the clouds are just too high, but it is not clear for London. Look at that. Are we above profiling it? That was one. A bit quick. IDESI air X-ray, so let's get the chart, double check.
Thousand to go.
222, TR X-ray, yes. Are continuing down to 6, but actually continue down to 4. A lot bigger if that is meant to be Cambridge. So that is us, isn't it? Yes. So there's the decel. I am going to help it out with speed brake. But you can see from the path there that too bad. We've got a decent headwind. So let's set 353 first. Away. Top descent off of track. That's interesting.
1,000 to go.
Remember I said I do not want to level off. So continuous descent down to 2.5. None of there. Match the up speed. Start switches are continuous. We can cabin secure. Brake 3. Some speed brake to help get us back. Now a little bit high energy. Once we're on final, because there's nobody else to talk to. 06 within 10 knots. Flap 1. A little bit of speed brake, so we are stable. Mile ring. And we can send back as well. So, just becoming stable.
1,000 to go.
Brake stowed, then armed. Localizer alive, approach is armed. And we have localizer capture. Should have kept that turn on really. Flap 5. Stats to traffic, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray established, ILS 228 miles, stats to traffic. You go and you can see some aircraft disappearing into the distance, which is nice. So captured,
2,500.
and the mist is 3. Back on the localizer. A lot of lights. I wonder if those are road lights. Like I say, they're just thing. There's our vacate that we're aiming for. I don't see any traffic on the runways. Just trundling down the glide quite happily. Especially with that headwind. 16 knots. Not actually that dark. Even under the cloud cover in London, it's dark. It's all quite dark inside, but not outside. 4 miles gear down. Flap 15. Hello, David. Butter it probably will be 36, so it's 151. And we're going to be stable by 500 because it's VNC. Going to shout flaps at us.
1,000.
No, what I'm talking about is 141, isn't it?
Flaps.
No, we're more than 25. And then flap 40. Brakes armed, all brakes set.
Approaching,
Landing flap gear down, 3 green. Start switch is continuous. Cleared ourselves to land. There we are. 500. Hear the airplane pitching.
500.
And it is now trim again.
plus 100.
So a little bit low.
Minimums.
Continue. $50, $40, $30, $20, $10. Quite on the centre line. That wind died off quite spectacularly. Oh, we're going to make this. There's 80 knots.
80 knots.
Manual braking stowed. There we go. 5, yes, that was doable. Have a look, we'll see what that was in a moment. Butter that was not. On our 18 minutes. That's the traffic run, S7 Delta X-ray runway. We can try a replay on this one, but it probably won't be that clear at night. So, how are we going to taxi back? Don't think it matters, but I think that they prefer to use the inner outer, depending on the way you look at it from those. Those speed brakes up, out off. Not the timer for single engine. Park yet, but where it will roughly be. Certainly the CPU is working hard. Not too hard, too bad. I have turned the number of world objects down, but obviously that doesn't make much of a difference in the airport environment. I have to investigate these street lights. So, VATSIM gave us 275 up. Hey, it was flat 40. A firm touchdown as well. Gonna park. How about Alpha and stand? I don't know any of the stands on the left. Alpha. So the cargo centre is on the right, and then any of the stands up there on the left. Start the APU, it's a bit early. 220. There's just these lights in the terminal, found odd. Place them there.
7 Mike Juliet, taxiing to holding point runway 22.
Guess 1-4 will do us. So they've added a little runway light there. That yellow arc. I don't know if that exists in reality. And it's kind of helpful if they're trying to emulate actual gate guidance. On stand is 1620. Two blues. Red. It's dead an hour and 36 minutes after we left Mega there. Thanks for that, you didn't do it the first time. 2. Back to Stansted. Not bad, 4.5 hours work. Started the stream at 12:30, didn't I? So let's get the aeroplane secured. And that's what she looks like. Somebody's taxiing out. I thought I put the stairs out. They're not animated, unlike the level up, which is they just appear. Good. Not quite on the centre line, that's why we don't quite fit here, isn't it? So that's Volanta done. Like I said, that was a 275. So we can disconnect from VATSIM. Stand 4.0, 2.01, 2 we used, 0.65 and 65, 1 at 18 airtime, and 1 at 36 block. Transponders set. Anything else to do? Well, for the shutdown, it's just the reverse really. The engine is left on. So, let's shut the airplane up ready for replay. Do is the replay at the other end. I'll do. it was alright. Maybe it's because it's downhill as well. Tell you what, the strobes are good and bright. See the directionality on them as well. So, thanks for watching, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a fun day. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. So until next time, look after yourselves, take care, bye for now.